As I study the Kryptos sculpture by that is Jim Sanborn, I find myself having suspicion, that is, I suspect and have a hunch, that the final section that is yet to be decoded, that is undecoded, the final section is impervious to computer decryption. I don't think that modern computers are capable of decrypting the final section of the Kryptos puzzle. I think that the final section, which is technically, from what I understand, not even the final section, there is a larger question that remains unanswered after the air quotes final section. If I have done my homework correctly, I think the final section is made to appear as if it is similar to the first sections that were decoded, and that it is merely an illusion, that it is similar to those first sections that were and have already been decoded. I think the, again, air quotes, final section, technically not the final section, but what is referred to as the final section, I think the final section was created to appear as if it's code, scrambled ciphertext that can be deciphered by way of some type of computer algorithm and or, by computer algorithm, but it cannot be. It was purposely, deliberately intended to not be capable of being deciphered, decrypted, decoded by supercomputers. I think that even Sycamore, I believe that even Sycamore, the Google supercomputer, quantum computer, I think that the quantum computer Sycamore is even incapable of decoding the final section of Kryptos. I could be wrong, obviously. I've looked at Kryptos off and on. I've glanced at it, played around with it, toyed around with it, analyzed it off and on for a few minutes here and there over the years. And I've taken some notes, written some notes down, written down some notes on notepads and various loose pieces of paper. And I really do think that if the final section were able to be deciphered by way of a supercomputer, that it would have been done by now. The NSA and government cryptologists have said on record that the first sections of Kryptos that have already been decoded, that were decoded already, that the government, in addition to private sector citizens, folks, civilians, had already decrypted those initial sections of Kryptos, along with the private sector persons who were able to decrypt. So I'm guessing that NSA, if it has decoded the final section, it did not decode the final section by way of supercomputer. I mean, the final section has to be something special, so why would you be able to use the supercomputer? If you could use the supercomputer, that would just make it fucking easy. I mean, and I'm guessing, again, it's a hunch, that Sanborn would have had that foresight that on some type of fluke, some supercomputer and or amateur novice would be able to solve the final solution, and it would just make it so simple, kind of a waste of time, and not as sensational, kind of like a non-event, like, oh great, a sculpture that was so remarkable in the beginning, but as it turns out, someone's like home desktop, like mini supercomputer, super mini, was able to easily crack the final section of this code in this sculpture by Jim Sanborn. I mean, He had to have had that foresight. So I'm guessing that supercomputers cannot be used and quantum computers cannot be used either, at least quantum computers in the context of what we have recently as humans created. Maybe future computers will be able to see the code and just understand it for what it is. But I think in the meantime, even Sycamore is, as a quantum computer, incapable of deciphering the final section of Kryptos, because in my analysis, if Sycamore, Google's quantum computer, were able to be used to decipher the final section of Kryptos, well, it would have fucking been used. Like, you know, and that's what I would have demonstrated. I would have said, look, I just created, as one of the principal scientists, sorry, I'm multitasking here. I would have said, as one of the, if I were one of the principal developer scientists, having created Sycamore, as one of my very first demonstrations, I would have said, oh, and by the way, you know, Kryptos, yeah, here, let me show you how our Sycamore quantum computer can decrypt quite easily this previously unsolved section of this Kryptos puzzle sculpture. And it just would have been like zip, 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 and it would have been done in like less than a second. So, again, it's my guess, One Sir Grove, this is C4CW, casting 495 celebrities worldwide, that the final section of Jim Sanborn's Kryptos sculpture is unsolvable, that is unbreakable, by way of supercomputers, quantum computers, any type of computers that currently exist on this planet, at least in mainstream society as we know them to be. Perhaps there's some type of classified system that can just easily do it, but the supercomputers that I'm referring to, I believe that they're unable, and it was planned that way. The other thing is that I have also come to understand, if I'm not mistaken, that William Webster, who was supposedly delivered by way of CIA courier, the solution to all the various sections in the final section, included that Jim Sanborn, he lied. And whatever William Webster believes is the final solution to Kryptos is in fact not the solution that William Webster has on file. So no one knows other than Jim Sanborn. I'm One Sir Grove. Thanks for tuning in.